What them haters talking about?
What's up, family? A 24-year-old man is being praised for helping a woman get home after her 360-pound electric wheelchair conked out on her on the side of the road. On Sunday, Bilal Quintine sat in a church he'd never been to before and heard the pastor praise him. The 24-year-old amateur boxer is not a religious man, but he believes in God, and one day in early May, he felt a call. Preparing for a training run in Smyrna, Georgia, he noticed an older woman sitting in a wheelchair by the side of the road. The chair was stuck, and she could not move. She kind of had a blank look, he recalled. I just asked her, "Are you okay?" The woman, 67-year-old Belinda Whitaker, told him that she'd been there for 45 minutes since her wheelchair motor conked out. She was within a few steps away from a church and a car wash. But aside from a passerby who had helped her back into her chair after she was thrown to the ground by the initial jolt, no one had offered assistance. So she asked Quintine would he call someone to help. "I'll do you one better," he said. "God bless me with an able body. I'll push you home." Whitaker was skeptical. She said she thought, "Yeah, sure, he says that, but after he gets going, he'll say, 'This is too much for me.'" Whitaker, a semi-retired real estate agent who had polio as a child, had set out for her senior housing complex that day to do some shopping. Her electric wheelchair had recently gotten a new battery, and after it stopped, she jiggled some wires to try to find a connection, but it wouldn't move. "I was sitting there thinking, what should I do? Should I call the police?" she said. "I put my head down and said, dear God, please find somebody safe to help me out." The next thing I know, Bilal shows up. Her home was a 30-minute walk, and the wheels on the 360-pound chair had seized up, making it harder to push for the first part of the journey. Along the way, Quintine's trainer, Tony Willingham, drove up, expecting to do a training session. He saw what was going on and started filming it. "He just said he was taking her home," Willingham said. "He just does stuff like that. That's who this kid is." By the time he got her home, Quintine was sweating. Whitaker hugged him anyway, and he went on his way. Then he posted Willingham's video on his Facebook page, and it went viral. It garnered 3.4 million views, and he got calls from all over the world. But until last week, he didn't know who Whitaker was, and she didn't know who he was. That changed when a friend of Quintine's saw Whitaker get a coffee at a local gas station and recognized her as the woman in the video. Coincidentally, the same week, Stephen Bell, a pastor at the Divine Order Church in nearby Marietta, saw the video on Facebook. "Wait a minute, I know that person," Bell thought. Whitaker was a member of his congregation, and he called her. "Do you know about the video of you being pushed around in the chair?" he said. She didn't. "Well, it's viral," he said. Whitaker and Quintine reconnected last week, and she invited him to church on Sunday. He was overwhelmed by the reception. "They got me a plaque," Quintine said. The pastor said, "That's what it's about, taking care of your community, not just sitting there and talking about God, but going out and practicing what you preach." The church also presented him with a t-shirt and a $25 gift card to the Cheesecake Factory. He plans to surprise his two children, 4 and 6, with a trip there this week. "I just feel so much love," he said. "I don't see myself as no superhero. I don't see myself as no great guy. I'm just a moral man doing what I was put on this earth to do." To Bell, Quintine's act offers a model for his congregants and a view of young black men that is different from what is usually seen on TV. "As I look at America, there are so few stories that say there are still such things as being a good neighbor. There are still such things as sacrifice. There are still such things as caring. There are still such things as sending a message out saying, 'I'm not too busy,'" he said. "I thought that message was worth sharing with our congregation, that there are still these belief systems that America was built on. In particular, it shifts the paradigm from African-American males hurting each other and hurting other people," Bell said. "This story is a little bit different. The world should know that Bilal Quintine exists, And that might spur people to pay it forward to say, hey, I want to do that for someone else. Well said, well spoken about the demonization of black males in America. We all know that American media ain't shit. We all know how they do us. That's why it is very important for us to control our own narrative. It's very important to support news outlets that cover black males, black people in a positive light. It's very important to support the channels that bring the real news and that offers alternative coverage. As Malcolm X so profoundly put it, if you're not careful, the newspapers will have you hating the people who are being oppressed and loving the people who are doing the oppressing. Now you tell me that ain't the world we live in. Way to go, Bilal. You know, we live in some world where the smallest act of generosity we consider to be heroic. And that is because there's so many people in our society today who are self-absorbed. If they can't benefit from it, they don't want to be around it. They're not going to help you unless they think they can get something in return. Now, I know for a fact that man was not looking for anything in return, but he was given a $25 gift card. Now, a link beat a blink, some beat none. So you can't complain. Beggars can't be choosy. Not saying that he was begging, but figure of speech. You catch my drift. But if you're gonna give the man something, come on, man. More than $25 gift certificate, you know. Something, you know, like, I mean, at least enough to cover 2 meals. Cheesecake, $25 don't get you too far. Maybe if you're going happy hour, you might be all right. He might be all right, $25, you know. But that cheesecake got some good food, man. I like to get the jambalaya. But anyway, I say somebody needs to start a GoFundMe. I don't want to start it because the minute you start something like that, especially if you're a celebrity, everybody, well, what's happening with the money? What is he doing? They see you, the GoFundMe account could have $100 in it. They see you go buy a new car. See how he using the GoFundMe money to buy himself a car. He just bought that Bentley with his GoFundMe money. And so I don't want to do it, but somebody should start a GoFundMe account for the young man. He's a boxer, so he's an up-and-coming boxer, so I know he needs the money. I know what it was like when I started boxing. In fact, well, my situation was a little different because I was already getting money, but I wasn't getting the big checks from my boxing matches. So most of these guys that box, they're not getting any other income. If they are, you know, it's a side job, you know, side blue-collar job that's barely getting them over. So if somebody could do something like that, I would definitely contribute, though. And I would definitely do my part to spread the word. But big ups to Bilal. It's just a small reminder that there are some people out there who were raised right. Bilal showed that woman that he had her back, and then he ended on a good note by sitting in a pew on the side of her in church, getting a bit of the good word. Can't be mad at that. No more talk.
What the haters talking about?